White plays pawn to e4. Black plays pawn to e5. White plays knight to f3. Black plays knight to c6. White plays bishop to c4. Black plays bishop to c5. White plays pawn to c3. Black plays knight to f6. White plays pawn to d3. Black plays pawn to f5. White plays king to g1. Black plays pawn to d6. White plays rook to e1. Black plays king to g8. White plays knight to d2. Black plays bishop to e6. White plays bishop to b5. Black plays bishop to a7. White plays knight to f1. Black plays knight to e7. White plays pawn to d4. Black plays knight to g6. White plays knight to g3. Black plays pawn to c6. White plays bishop to f1. Black plays bishop to g4. White plays bishop to e3. Black plays pawn to d4. White plays pawn to d4. Black plays pawn to d5. White plays pawn to e5. Black plays knight to e8. White plays bishop to e2. Black plays pawn to f6. White plays pawn to f6. Black plays knight to f6. White plays queen to b3. Black plays bishop to f3. White plays bishop to f3. Black plays queen to d7. White plays rook to d1. Black plays pawn to h6. White plays bishop to e2. Black plays rook to e8. White plays bishop to d3. Black plays knight to h4. White plays pawn to f3. Black plays knight to h7. White plays bishop to b1. Black plays knight to g5. White plays queen to c2. Black plays pawn to g6. White plays king to h1. Black plays queen to f7. White plays queen to f2. Black plays bishop to b8. White plays knight to f1. Black plays knight to f5. White plays bishop to d2. Black plays bishop to c7. White plays knight to e3. Black plays knight to e3. White plays bishop to e3. Black plays king to g7. White plays queen to f1. Black plays rook to e6. White plays bishop to g1. Black plays rook to e8. White plays rook to e6. Black plays rook to e6. White plays pawn to a3. Black plays pawn to h5. White plays queen to f2. Black plays queen to f4. White plays rook to e1. Black plays knight to h3.